So as I was saying, the cheapest way to sell books is to just print them on pages and sell them outside a bookstore. I don't know if I'd ever actually do that, though. And then there's also making YouTube videos. I've never uploaded a video on YouTube. From what I've heard, a lot of YouTubers do it for free, just as a hobby. And it takes years for them to start getting paid. Or they might never start getting paid. I think how it works is that I think YouTube is like when your channel gets popular, YouTube asks you if you want to monetize your channel, and what that does is it puts ads on your videos. And so the advertising companies give you money so they can put ads on your videos. I think, like, if I did actually upload my videos on YouTube, I don't think they'd ever get monetized. I think the most views I'd ever get is like maybe 10 views. I'm probably never gonna be a YouTuber. So I know how to juggle, and I've thought about like performing juggling as a career. Like maybe I don't have to join a circus, maybe I can just juggle at some shopping mall and hold a hat out for money. Then at least I wouldn't just be sitting there. So the jobs I'm applying for are like housekeeping jobs. It's just cleaning people's houses, like laundry and window wiping and vacuuming. and no one responds to my applications. I'm earning points to justify my Centrelink allowance, but it doesn't lead anywhere, which is fine because I still get my Centrelink allowance. Okay, I want to talk about something that's happening this Saturday. It's a YSA event. It's at Mululaba Beach, and it's a 90-minute drive from here, and it starts at 11 a.m. So yeah, it starts at 11 a.m. That gives me plenty of time. That gives me plenty of time to get there. If I leave at 9:30, then I'll be there on time. But yeah, I don't have anything else going on Saturday. I'll probably end up going to that. I want to talk about this girl. Her name's Danica. She used to work in my dad's company, and I think she's a pretty modern woman. I think she is like a drinker, and I think she's really pessimistic about guys. So from what I understand, she's had some bad past relationships, and now she's pretty much done with dating. She said that she's happy single. Yeah, I think it would be a really bad idea to pursue a relationship with this girl. She's definitely not good for me, I don't think. So tomorrow I'm supposed to go to the office with my dad. Nothing really happens. So I want to talk about what I learned about storytelling from writing books. What I learned is that the dialogue is more interesting when the characters' personalities contrast with each other. I find that this creates more interesting dialogue, because if all the characters are the same person, then it's basically just someone talking to themselves, which isn't interesting. And if the characters are different, then you're gonna explore like different perspectives. So it just shows audiences that there isn't there isn't one right answer, and that there's validity to the multiple perspectives from the different characters. So I want to talk about I want to talk about the characters in my book. The lead protagonist is Cleo. She's like a introverted kind of girl. She doesn't really like arguing, but she will argue when she believes that something morally unjustifiable is happening. Like, for example, in my second book of the Alien Annihilators series, they go through like this ravine, and Rachel makes a morally unjustifiable decision. She pushes Kenneth out of the way in order to climb up the rock, in order to climb up the boulder that's standing in their way. And what's happening is like there's a bunch of rocks falling down from an explosion, and they have to climb up this boulder to get to safety. And Rachel pushes Kenneth out of the way in order to save herself, and Cleo gets pissed off at her because she believes that it's morally unjustifiable to sacrifice others in order to save yourself. And so yeah, that's Cleo. She's a good girl, but she makes her beliefs known when it really matters, I guess. So now I want to talk about Kenneth. So Kenneth is a lot more argumentative than Cleo is. He's like if he's annoyed at someone, then he's much more likely to show it, while Cleo is a lot more forgiving. And one good example of this is like the three friends go to a desert, and like they have water rations that they're meant to be preserving for the long trip across the desert. And while Cleo and Kenneth have they have the discipline to carefully ration the water, but Rachel doesn't have the same discipline. She just drinks way too much of the rations, and Kenneth gets pissed off at her, and while Cleo just does nothing. So Kenneth is, yeah, much more assertive. And he has strong beliefs, and he's not afraid to impose those beliefs on other people, I guess. So I want to talk about Rachel now. So before I talk about Rachel, I want to talk about some other series where the female protagonist has this bratty friend. Like I know in Twilight, Bella has this friend who's a lot more bratty, you know. She's always I guess joking and making fun of people. I know in Twilight, Bella's friend makes fun of Bella and Edward for getting married at 18 years old. She's like, oh, he must have gotten her pregnant and that's why they have to get married so early. And yeah, I think that my book needed a character who's bratty and always wants to make fun of people. In the beginning of the book, she thinks Kenneth is a retard because he has his shirt off and he's swinging it around on the cafeteria table, but really it was just the aliens manipulating his behavior. And I think Rachel adds a perspective that's needed in the book, because all this bad stuff is happening, and there needs to be someone who's really dissatisfied with what's going on and always complaining